Welcome to the 69th Annual BC Chamber of Commerce Annual General Meeting and Conference, and our second, and let's hope last ever, solely virtual meeting. I'm filming my outgoing chair's address in an area of Kamloops known as Rose Hill, on the traditional territory of the Secwepemc. A big welcome to all of you joining us this year from across the province, and a big thank you again to the Broadcast Centre team, Marty, Rob, Leo, and Bonita, for helping me get this speech filmed, edited, and ready for you. When preparing my address, I looked back at my address from last year and I thought, wow, I was so hopeful and optimistic. When I was delivering my incoming chair speech via video last year, I have to tell you, in the back of my head, I was convinced that by the time we got to our 2021 AGM and conference, I for sure thought we'd all be together again, in person, like really together. Clearly, I was not well versed in the duration and effects of a global pandemic, but here we are, and I would like to express my gratitude to you for yet again showing up. Last year's conference's theme was unity and community, which was so perfect for the work we needed to do in these past 365 days and longer. So when our BC Chamber of Commerce staff team shared the theme of this year's conference with our board of directors, it again resonated with me. Big thinking for small business. When I think of big thinking, I think of a vision for what could be. If you search big thinking online, one of the entries refers to big thinking as being able to dream and visualize what you can achieve on an audacious scale, with no limits on your thinking. It is about being open-minded, positive, creative, and seeing opportunity in the big picture. There are a few barriers to big thinking, however, and one of those is our mindset, and who could blame us, quite frankly? This past year has been exhausting. But I believe there are three key pillars that will help us think big and keep moving forward. And those are looking back, setting a vision for the future, and collaborating. First, on looking back, I came upon a newspaper article and a timely quote. Now is the time to take longer strides. It's time for a great new enterprise. It's time for us to take a clearly leading role in our achievement. I like the visual that paints, longer strides. It's not about moving faster, but instead about being more intentional with the forward motion we are already taking. What's interesting about this is that this quote is from May 25th, 1961, almost 60 years ago exactly from our 69th AGM and conference here in May of 2021. It was a quote from President Kennedy in a special State of the Union address where the President was asking Congress for a firm commitment to set a new course of action and land a man on the moon, and of course, ensure for his safe return. When we look back, we have the benefit of hindsight and to see that the challenges people faced 60 years ago are in many ways similar to what we face today. There are challenges we face, and as President Kennedy said, we need to take longer strides to overcome them. As we ground ourselves in looking back, knowing that past generations of people had much to overcome and that they did see a way forward to overcome those challenges, we can have confidence knowing that big thinking is possible. That's when the next pillar of setting the vision is critical. The BC Chamber of Commerce's Big Thinking for Small Business three-part plan for economic recovery is a part of that vision with clearly outlined steps to achieve the big thinking goals. Let's compete, let's innovate, and let's be inclusive. We know our chambers of commerce and boards of trade members want to compete, and collectively as a network, we have called upon our provincial government to create a competitive tax system that will support a healthy economic environment. We know, and I'm proud of my fellow entrepreneurs and small business owners for this, that we need government to help create the right conditions and then let us shift, adapt, reinvent, retool, and get growing. The next steps of our plan call for innovation and inclusion, calling us to think big, yet differently, and to intentionally include diverse and new voices at the table, something we're so proud to see our chamber network moving on. We know now is not the time to be timid in our thinking. We must look to bold recommendations and solutions designed to build a globally competitive province that will not only sustain us today, but help us thrive long term. We've looked back, we've got a clear vision, and now, more than ever, it's time to collaborate. And you already know, collaboration is in our DNA. I'd like to acknowledge the tremendous collaboration of our directors and advisors of the BC Chamber of Commerce, our chamber staff, and you, our chamber network. Premier Horgan shared recently that he is appreciative of the BC Chamber and our network for the collaboration with the provincial government, especially during the pandemic. He said that his government could not have done what they have done to move forward in their planning, without the BC Chamber, expressing his gratitude for our network to bring the voices of our members from all corners of the province to the table. The Premier acknowledged that businesses know better what they need than government does, and I could not agree more. That's where our collaboration as a network to speak up for our members and to amplify their voices and ideas to create a better tomorrow is essential, and something I believe has solidified the value of our network, and we are so proud you are a part of that DNA. We can think big, knowing that we have the collaboration of this network of leaders working together. I would now like to acknowledge the directors and advisors who will be stepping off the board this year, who for years have volunteered countless hours and their expertise to our BC Chamber of Commerce Board and the network. Thank you for your dedication, your guidance, and passion. I would also like to welcome our new and returning directors and advisors who will bring their experiences, ideas for innovation, and have courageous conversations to help govern the board, creating a healthy environment for our president and CEO and her team to thrive and lead well to reach our big thinking strategic goals. And speaking of our president and CEO, we are thrilled to have welcomed Fiona Famulek to lead our team. Fiona inspired our CEO Transition Task Force and our board with her servant's heart for leadership, her desire to have courageous conversations, and her vision for this remarkable organization. She takes big thinking to heart, and she has strategic and audacious plans to propel our organization forward. I'd also like to personally thank my family, friends, and colleagues for their support over this past year. Having the opportunity to dedicate literally hundreds of hours, many times on weekends or evenings, is not just an investment of my time, but the time of those I care most about. To my husband, Jeff, and our sons, McLean and Callum, thank you for allowing me to give so much time and effort to this network I care deeply about over the past 4 years, and especially in this past year as chair. Your long-suffering support and never-ending, "You can do it, Mom," encouragement has allowed me to take longer strides, knowing I, with my colleagues and this network, are making a difference. Here's to big thinking this year by reflecting on our past, setting a vision for the future, and doing it together. Thank you.